There's a hip-hop journalist war going on, with Rob Markman initially addressing DJ Akademiks and him pushing an agenda of lies.
It's never been about facts. It's about what story he can tell that benefits him and diminishes anyone who he believes is opposed to him.
Leading to DJ Akademiks to crash out on him and everybody else.
All three Loren LoRosa, Mark Lamont Hill, or y'all could all eat it. Nigga, you think I give a f about what Mark Lamont Hill says? He works for Joe Budden, nigga. The f is you talking about, nigga?
Causing Mark Lamont Hill and the Joe Budden podcast to respond.
Yo, Ak, who the f you think you talking to, nigga? Hold up for a minute now.
But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it. All of this started because Akademiks basically challenged the other hip-hop journalists to cover the whole story around Drake and Roc Nation and everything going on with that the same way that he covers it.
Mark Lamont Hill was called out by name. We gotta start. We gotta start from the top of the list.
The one when I saw an hour ago said Mark Lamont Hill, smart guy, had zero insights on any valuable stories in hip hop. No sources, no research, no new information. His job is to just be the smartest nigga in Joe Budden's circle. Where is the journalism?
So Rob Markman responded to being called out.
This ain't even about me, right? It is about you. This is about y'all who watching. This is about y'all. The guy who lies to you, who will come up with the nastiest takes, who will hire clippers to spread it across the internet to manipulate whatever he wants you to believe. The guy who doesn't present an ounce of objectivity. The guy who created Akademiks TV, vile, nasty shit, just actively attacking folks. That's the guy saying, okay, where's the journalism now? Hey, we need the facts here now. Now the facts are on point. But it's not about facts, and it's never been about facts. It's about what story he can tell that benefits him and diminishes anyone who he believes is opposed
We
to
saw Akademiks doing a lot of that with his beef with Charlemagne. He was spinning all of these stories, creating all of these narratives, hyping his audience hyping him up, saying he was gonna expose Charlemagne. And then when he got face to face with Charlemagne, all of that just melted away. So he's not wrong right here.
That remind you of someone? His Uncle Trump? Seriously, he calls him Uncle Trump.
He does.
Called him Uncle Trump.
He does.
Feels like right out of that playbook, right? And his tweet, I mean, it wasn't serious. It's not about him wanting me or Loren or Mark to report on whatever it is he's talking about right now, right? He don't need me for that. He don't need Loren for that. He don't need Mark for that. He has a bunch of clippers that he pays to do that. These days, the game isn't about the truth, sadly. It's about if you can get the internet
to buy your side.
And when I say the internet, if it ain't real people, then it's bots. But the internet in total, because they say 50% of internet activity is botted anyway.
Dead internet theory.
The game is if you could get the internet to repeat your bullshit long enough till it becomes the truth, till it appears to be the truth. That's really the name of the game. It's him saying, look at how much of a victim I am. Roc Nation is out to get me, y'all. Little old me who never bothers anybody.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know any of this was still going on after the whole Akademiks Charlemagne debate. I thought Akademiks dead it is, said he was moving on. He wasn't going to talk about any of this stuff again. But I guess he went right back to talking about Roc Nation, the lawsuits, the conspiracy theories around what they're doing or not doing, and venting his frustration about other people for not covering it, claiming they're being biased. Which, as you could have guessed, led to Akademiks crashing out.
I don't need none of y'all. I don't need y'all voice. I don't need... My thing is that you guys report on these things. If you never ever said state Akademiks, Drake, Aiden Ross out of your mouth, I wouldn't ask you to follow up on the story. But you act like you're being a journalist by presenting the story at its very inception. I'm telling you how it's evolved. I've given you the clues. I've done the work for you, damn near, but you could double check my work. It seems that you no longer want to cover the story that you initially brought to. It's not like you never covered this and I'm asking you to cover it like it's a favor. Nigga, you ain't doing me no favor, my nigga. You cover this story. How convenient you don't want to cover it no more.
I think that's fair for Akademiks to say you started talking about this, now you're not giving updates when there are updates to give. However, you can't dictate somebody else's platform when they need to cover or update something just because it's something you're involved about, invested in, or passionate about.
All three of y'all niggas, Loren LoRosa, Mark Lamont Hill, or y'all could all eat a dick. Let me just tell you the truth about journalism these days.
I'm so confused how Mark Lamont Hill called it straight. I can understand Rob Markman. I can understand Loren LoRosa because she works at the Breakfast Club. She covers the news or the journalist part or gives updates. But I don't understand how Mark Lamont Hill fits into that.
I don't respect y'all. I really called on y'all on some facetious shit. I don't respect none of y'all niggas. Y'all niggas on some journalism shit. Let me tell you where the journalism coming when it comes to y'all niggas. Nigga, you just a writer, nigga. Like, yeah, you listen to hip hop and you from the culture, this and third, but nigga, when I think about journalism, I think about investigative shit. None of y'all do that.
That's a different type of journalism. He literally said it in his response. Investigative journalism is investigative. Not all journalists are investigative. So if he's looking for investigative journalism in hip hop, maybe that would be him and the other people he rocks with. Trap Lil Rawls dude who does investigative journalism, if that's what you call it. But not everybody has to do that or is meant to do that just because they talk about similar topics. But let them rock.
Definitely not you. You the genius, nigga. You don't do that. Loren LoRosa is I called for a statement. She don't do that. And anybody else I mentioned, I basically told y'all all three of y'all niggas could eat a dick. You know why? Because the real journalists these days that put the work in is the YouTubers, nigga. They put the work in. I've always said, you know why I came up in hip-hop? I came up in hip-hop shitting on niggas who wrote. The journalists who wrote for Hot New Hip-Hop, all these other bum-ass sites. I shitted on them because I would download I figured out, let's get the indictment. Let me go read 700 pages. All y'all do is repost shit.
Akademiks definitely gets credit for that, for pioneering a new form of content, especially early on at the time. Even if you're negative about his War on Chirac series, he was definitely the first person to talk about street stuff like that and tie it back to rap and lyrics and all that.
So when I hear y'all talk about shit, even when you don't even know the case, you like stumbling, fumbling, looking at your notes, you don't even know what you're talking about. How you the journalist and you have zero idea? I talk about the case not only because I'm sued, I talk about the case fluently because I know it back and front. How are y'all journalists? Is it because I pop shit and I could talk shit with the best of them? I'm not no journalist. Nigga, I know more than you niggas about all this shit. You niggas do no research. You don't do no work. That's my problem. Loren LoRosa, the most she does, go to her timeline. Oh, we called over there for a comment. That's all you do. Get the fuck out of here.
That's her job. Her job is not to be an investigative journalist. Akademiks is funny as hell, man.
How you a journalist? Go break a story. Go figure some shit out. Put 2 and 2 together. Nigga, I've been doing this shit, nigga, ever since I came in the game, nigga. All them stories that you see, all the millions of people that watch me from, nigga, I broke them shits. I had to go figure out how to go get it. That's why when y'all talk about journalism, nigga, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Nigga, because you did genius and you, man, get the fuck out of here. You niggas is lazy. Stop talking about shit if you don't put the work in. You niggas now is trying to do what I do. Except y'all not funny. Y'all can't talk like y'all talk. Y'all don't got the chat, niggas. Y'all just be here like, let me talk about bullshit. That's why y'all niggas ain't growing.
Akademiks do got a streaming one-man army, one-man band personality.
Nigga, y'all getting called journalists because y'all got connections. Nigga, y'all don't get called journalism because you work. Trap Lil Rawls puts all you niggas to shame. The do y'all do? The do y'all do? How come some white boys is making videos, breaking down shit, being investigative? Even if we talking about motherfucking Rolling Stone, it's Nancy Dillon, a white bitch over there doing
that. Is their lane. I don't know why Akademiks is mad at everybody else who are functioning in their lanes. Mark Lamont Hill's on the Joe Budden podcast. I don't know what he ever had to do with this. Loren LoRosa is on Breakfast Club. They are doing their jobs. It seems like his crash out was a little misdirected.
I don't f*** y'all journalists then. Y'all are the laziest pieces of shit journalists I've ever seen. If y'all are hip-hop media, of course that's why I'm pissing on y'all every time, and I'm number one. Because even when I sit here and pop my shit, I'm the best at doing that, and when I'm really in my bag to do my research, I'm the best at doing that too. How do I have all the facts on all the stories, and y'all over here reading through the BlackBerry like Drake at Hot 97?
Did Drake catch it straight?
Investigate some shit. Actually, don't do what Loren LoRosa and her dumbass does I called over for a comment. You think that's journalism?
That is part of journalism.
This is the laziest group of media. Yo, when I said all y'all niggas like that's nigga, you think I give a fuck about what Mark Lamont Hill says? Nigga, he works for Joe Budden. Nigga, the fuck is you talking about, nigga? You think I give a fuck what you talking about? Nigga, you got fired by a hip-hop DX. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Facts. I don't care. That little journalist title y'all got. Man, get the out of here, nigga.
Which, of course, led to this being discussed on the Joe Budden podcast.
Mark Lamont Hill was called out by name. We got to start. We got to start from the top of the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I just saw another tweet from him about 10 minutes ago.
Did he walk it back?
No.
So he's still shooting at you.
Yeah, I guess
so. The war is still afoot.
I don't know if I call it war. Well, if it's chronological, but the one I saw an hour ago said Mark Lamont Hill, smart guy, had zero insights on any valuable stories in hip hop. No sources, no research, no new information. His job is to just be the smartest nigga in Joe Budden's circle. Where is the journalism?
That's what accent did?
Said about me, yeah. About an hour ago. But I think last night there was a live stream. Everybody sending it to me. But he basically was saying me, Rob Markman, and Loren LoRosa are trash, I think.
I think that was the gist.
That's the gist.
Or y'all are journalists because you don't
report on Rock Nation. That's what this is all about, right? It's
the Drake Rock Nation steak versus whatever they're doing.
And this comes about because he had discovered that somebody from the Rock Nation's barbershop's cousin's nephew's lawyer was also doing Pilates with the people that did the deposition on it's a whole bunch of, I don't know, because I'm not a journalist, and when I don't care, I'm not getting into it, and I don't care about all of that. I don't see what the fuss is.
I think that's most people. I don't think most people care about any of this outside of Akademiks and his chat. So it's way more important to him than it is anybody else.
I guess Ak just wants Charlemagne. All of this shit is intermingled. I guess he just wants Charlemagne to admit that he worked with Rock Nation, which to me is not even really a big deal. I don't care. But let's get back to what he's saying. He's saying that y'all journalists are not really journalists because he's uncovering all of it. And I do think that he's just probably getting this stuff from Drake himself. But that the journalists are not doing their homework to kind of uncover this stuff, see if it's true or not, and speak to it.
What do you think about that?
What do I think about that? He says, I don't break hip-hop stories and do investigative work, and I don't produce new information on hip-hop. I would say, Akademiks, you are correct. I don't claim to. I haven't done hip-hop journalism in probably 20 years. And when I did, I was a music critic, and I report on stories that are relevant to hip-hop. But I don't walk out here saying that I'm a hip-hop journalist. I don't think I've ever said that.
Right, that's why his shots toward Mark Lamont Hill is super weird to me, because when did he become the hip-hop journalist guy? And again, there are so many different lanes of journalism. Just because you're a journalist doesn't mean you're an investigative journalist. Just because you're an investigative journalist doesn't mean you care about rap or hip-hop.
I wrote some of the earliest books on hip-hop, and I've made a huge contribution to hip-hop, and I still study hip-hop as an academic, but I'm not a hip-hop journalist. And when Joe hired me, we were out on the balcony when you made me sign the contract. When we talked,
you put him over the balcony?
He and Ian, yeah. I don't think Joe ever said to me, Mark, I want you to be my hip-hop investigative journalist. Am I a journalist? That's one of my roles in life. It's not my primary job, but it is a job. And for the last 6 weeks, I've spent every single night on my channel breaking new information on Nolan Wells. So from the moment he died, I've been covering the Nolan Wells case. I think that's a better use of my time than Rock Nation versus Drake. But
can I jump in and just add one thing to what you're saying? Yo, Ak, who the f you think you talking to, nigga? Hold up for a minute now. We too not
too civil.
Yo, watch your mouth when you speak about the good doctor. We too peaceful. We ain't taking that shit.
If I go through all of that, and it turns out that Rock Nation has a axe to grind against Drake, and they're fucking up his career and undermining him, I don't feel like that would be a good use of my time. Do I think that's true? Yeah, I watched that.
He's just not interested in it, like most people aren't. It's not a big story for him.
What's that thing called?
What's the dirt?
What's the dirt? Because people say I was ducking. I wasn't ducking. I'm busy. Like I got other things to do. I write books. I read. That just isn't something. I'm not interested in it. You know why? Because I think it's probably true. Like I don't. It's not that I'm ducking it. Or I'm afraid. Yes. Do I think Rock Nation has the power to f somebody's life up? Yes. Yeah. Do I think they don't like Drake? Yes. Do I think that they might be behind some shit? Sure. I don't know enough to fact check it, but let's just assume it's true. Be clear. I'm not running from it. I just don't care.
I think matching up DJ Akademiks crash outs with a super mature response that's really unbothered is really funny to me for some reason, because Akademiks was crashing out, eating all of that. And this is Mark's response, which is really bemusement more than anything else.
This is a situation. I don't have a beef with Ak. He's right. I don't contribute much to this show in terms of breaking stories. I don't know why that became my role, but he's right. I don't contribute much to that. Thank you for calling me smart.
I really think the tone of Mark Lamont's response and his unbotheredness, if that's a word, by any of this, made Academics respond a bit different because he really did walk back his criticism of Mark Lamont Hill after, again, calling him out in that live stream and tweeting about it.
Mark, I wasn't even trying to shoot at you, honestly, but like, they be throwing you the journalist title. I think you're more a journalist for non-hip-hop shit. Yo ass just fell in the mix, in the matrix of me saying hip-hop journalists don't do nothing. And I don't know if you consider yourself a hip-hop journalist, and if you do, it applies to you. So there's no taking it back. But if you don't consider yourself a hip-hop journalist, because honestly, I feel like Joe just brought you in to be the smartest friend in the friend group. Like, it's like Joe was in a text thread and he was like, yo, yeah, these niggas not that smart. I need to get like a smart guy, you know, because, you know, people be like, oh, you don't want to be the smartest in the room. That's why he got you. But like, when it comes to hip hop, let me tell you about journalism.
But again, he even admitted that. He said that he's not a hip-hop journalist. He don't know how he got bunched into that conversation.
When you come on Academic stream, I do a lot of shit. That's why I stream for 6 hours. You won't catch me just roasting somebody. You won't catch me just joking. You won't catch me like breaking down like some whatever, give my opinion.
But none of that makes you a journalist. That makes you an entertaining live streamer. And still, nobody has to go about things the way that you do just because that's how you choose to go about them. It doesn't make anybody less of a journalist for not being an investigative journalist.
But everybody knows, and this is why I had to shit on y'all journalists, because these days, y'all journalists are so broke, y'all are all misplaced, that all y'all want to do is what I do for a quarter of the time, which is react. Y'all don't break no stories. Y'all don't have no journalistic integrity.
It's weird he keeps saying journalistic integrity because that would also mean that you don't have a biased opinion when presenting information, which Academics 100% has a Drake bias, which was the whole issue with him and Charlamagne, where Academics admitted he covers things from a biased perspective. So this whole argument is weird to me. It definitely seems like all of Academics' recent beefs and his issues stem back to this whole Drake lawsuit with stake and gambling. I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like Mark Lamont Hill and Joe Budden said, it's just not a big story to everybody else. Academics is passionate about it. He's involved in it, so he wants other people to talk about it, and they're just not. So he's claiming they're either biased, paid for, or now they're just bad journalists. But shout out to my channel and Patreon members. Thanks for supporting and thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.